On the latest episode of The Fighter and the Kid, Brendan Schaub and Bryan Callen talk about how it's so difficult to do stand-up comedy and be a good father. In fact, they both kind of admit that they wish they didn't take that route. That Bapa really doesn't have to do stand-up because he's missing the first 14 years of his children's lives. And you can tell Bryan Callen is trying to feed him the right thing to say, but in true Brendan Schaub fashion, he screws it up. Let's go ahead and take a listen into this.
Yeah, I mean, and also like these age basically 1 to 14, you're never getting that back. Can I do stand up to can I do every weekend? 100%. But I'm missing games. I'm missing, and I'm coaching as well.
Yeah, I fucked up.
It's not worth it.
I fucked up.
I would.
Well, I'm trying to make it right, but for the first, my daughter is the one who took all the shit. My daughter was 15 now. I was gone. I was always on the road. I was trying to make my name, and I did real well. And I made lots of money and all that shit. And
none of that matters.
I was on a TV show.
None of that matters. I'm telling you, none of it matters. Your kids don't give a fuck.
Of course it doesn't.
What they care about?
How much did I miss? I missed all my kids'
When you're on the
birthdays.
road and you miss the birthday,
I miss everything.
Dude.
Okay. I missed her birthday. I missed her fucking, everything. And I'll never live it down. But I'll make it right.
You can make it right being present now. Yep. Like being gone all the time ain't the move. And I'll never forget when I first started doing stand-up at Kevin Nealon, we're at the airport. And he goes, "Oh, where are you at?" And I'm telling him, I'm like, "Yeah, next week I'm in Oklahoma, and the week after that I'm in Palm Beach." And he goes, "You have kids?" And he goes, "Man," the disappointment on his face.
Yeah.
He was like, "This ain't it, bud."
It's not.
He's like, "This ain't it."
But I want to make you two feel a little better. Like my dad is a normal guy, normal Joe Schmo, owns his own business, right? When I grew up, my dad worked 6-7 days a week.
Yes.
I didn't see my dad often.
Yeah.
Okay? So please,
Your dad didn't have a choice.
He didn't have a choice, right?
We have
because
a choice.
he had to provide for
We
all
have a
of us.
choice.
Yeah.
But did you?
Yes.
You're trying to provide for your family.
In a way, you're right. We didn't, Bubba.
You're providing for your family.
In a way, this is a motherfucker, this gig. Let's be honest. You want to compete, you got to keep writing. You got to come up with ideas. Let's be honest.
It's just a hustle. But
it's the hustle. And it's okay.
At some point, but yeah, you got to, there's a balance. You can find the balance. But
there's a balance.
In order to get where you're going, there's no balance.
So why do they basically equate a 15-30-minute set of comedy to a 12-16-hour blue-collar shift? And comedy is at night usually. You have a couple of hours of pods. Where's the imbalance, boys? Oh, wait, it's because they're one of the 1,000, so thank 'em. And aren't Little League games at around 11 a.m.? How would that ever interfere with an evening comedy career? Bapa's so full of shit. Also telling Bryan Callen it's not about the money. It's like he doesn't know why anyone shows up to Thick Hell Studios. Brendan's just blaming everything and anyone else for his failed comedy career. Schaub just wanted to be in Joe Rogan's Rat Pack. But since he left, there's no reason to do it if he doesn't benefit socially. The dude's a beast of a numbers guy, B. All right, look, I despise these assholes, but I guess going on the road means that they're away the entire weekend. But still, that means they are there all week and can see their kids, unlike many blue-collar workers. Brendan has never spent more than 2 weeks away doing stand-up. It would have been more than a few years ago at this point. And Bapa's tour dates have had weeks and months in between with all them cancellations. Bryan Callen probably was gone for months at a time, also years ago. And the fact is, Brendan Schaub is the first comedian ever to have kids and a middling comedy career, apparently. Yeah, I know, middling, it's generous. Some would say the middlingest. And Kevin Nealon just shook his head at Bapa. This ain't it. More unnecessary lies. Oh, and I guarantee you, if let's say Showtime, the UFC, or any other legit organization called Brendan right now to hire him, he'd be back on the road in a effing heartbeat. And we'd be back to baddies and addies faster than his entire comedy run. He just cannot stop lying. I mean, it's crazy how much this guy lies. Bapa's that guy in school who had an uncle with a crazy job. Completely empty person whose only goal is to look cool. And it would be brilliant if Kevin Nealon replied with a video saying that he did not have sexual relations or a conversation with Brendan Schaub. Great guy, never met him. And Brendan correcting Bryan Callen even when they agree? He's a moron. I'm sorry, it's not Bapa correcting correcting Brian. It's Brendan interrupting Brian. I had to fix that. Sorry, guys. And of course, Brendan would admit that he didn't have to do his stand-up career. We all know. He wasn't making any money. He was cosplaying as a comic, as a hobby. And you know when he breaks out the redacted hand gestures with them C-clamps? It's about to be some bullshit. Brendan Schaub looking up, down, and all around, struggling to find something interesting to say, and falling every time is so funny to me. I mean, this video clip is the most redacted version of introspection I have ever seen. Well, I guess he's putting his family first for the first time ever, or whatever this redacted mongoloid mumbled when he announced his semi-retirement from bombing once a month. And is this still a comedy podcast? I'm talking about the fighter and the kid. I guess it's time to revoke their membership in the 1000 elite. This ain't no comedy podcast. This is The View for Redacts. I'm guessing at this point, this is Brendan Schaub and Bryan Callen's weekly "Everything Sucks and We're Totally Not Whining About It" sort of segment that lasts about half the show. And no, Brendan, you can't do stand-up every weekend because no one wants to see you. Nobody knows who you are. And did Kevin Nealon, when he talked to you, had tears in his eyes? Brendan Shaw, now that you're claiming that you quit stand-up comedy, please stop doing this podcast and all the other 6 million ones that you have. Do it for the kids and for all of our mental health. Thank you. And the truth of the matter is, he didn't stop because it's the right thing to do for his kids. Brendan Schaub stopped because he can't sell tickets, so traveling is a net loss. Then he gets on his high horse and gaslights the F out of his friend Bryan Callen for doing the same thing he did, and would 1000% continue to do so if and only if Bapa could sell tickets, but that will never be the case. And let's get a few things right. So normies don't have a choice to work too much, but Brendan Schaub always had the choice because he never need to? Is this some sort of flex he thinks it is? Brendan's basically saying his stand-up career was optional and going on the road, missing birthdays, etc. was completely unnecessary, and only done it to fuel his ego while collecting addies and baddies and building his side hustle. Am I getting this right? Please let me know in the comments down below because that's what's most important, even though we don't matter. But hey guys, do me a huge favor, big favor here. Click that like button and that subscribe button. Push the notification bell on your way out. I truly, genuinely appreciate that so much. Thank you very much for watching. But I'll see all of you in the next video.
This Thursday, one night only, one show only, me and Bryan Callen. It's a live Fighting the Kid, not stand-up. It's Bryan Callen and myself doing a live Fighting the Kid with some special guests in the capital of comedy these days. That's Austin, Texas. We're at the Vulcan Gas Company Theater.